I'm back, and I am only back with a few pointers because I have not started my program and will not start until April. So I'm kind of playing the waiting game. My orientation is not until the 15th, even though I kind of got a little bit of a glimpse of what other people's orientations look like. But the orientation is literally just going over the expectations for the program, and then you'll finally get your schedule. I do want to give a few pointers on the admissions process because some people are looking to get into certain months, and with there being an upcoming change of it going to every 3 months, I want to make sure that y'all understand the process for what it is, so you won't be waiting longer than what you anticipated. So let me just give y'all a side note. If you're looking to start this program and you want to potentially go to a certain month, I will use my scenario as an example. I want to start for March, but I knew it was kind of too late. I started the process in January. I started to do my HESI exam. I was studying in December. I did the HESI exam in January. Didn't do great, needed to get a little bit higher, and did it 2 weeks later. So by the end of January, I had my background check done. I had my HESI exam done. I had everything that was required to be done, including my financial aid. All of that was completed. So by February 1st, I was just sitting there waiting until somebody gave me an answer. So I got accepted for April, but if someone wanted to be in the program for April and started their process in February, they're most likely not going to get in. So they are going to switch to every 3 months starting after July. I believe July is the last one. And then once July hits, it'll be another 3 months before another cohort starts. So let's say you are looking to currently enroll into the program. Honestly, I can say that if you're looking for May and you're not done with everything you need to be done with by the end of February, you most likely won't get May, and you should anticipate for June. But I will always say to try. You can always set your date as May, and if it fills up, your enrollment counselor will just let you know, and they'll move you to June if you're accepted. So kind of want to give that side note. If you want to get in for a month, I would say plan 3 months in advance. Don't wait until 2 months prior, because they start to accept 60 days or earlier sometimes. So I got my answer pretty early. I got my answer first thing February that I was in for April. So I'm just going to do a quick step-by-step on the admissions process and how you can go from an applicant to clear to start, of course, if they accept you. The first one is contacting the enrollment counselor, which that should be the first thing that you do because you do need to build a rapport with them. I told y'all that is your cheerleader. Believe me, you need to build a rapport. Second is submitting the transcript. That's if you have any of the qualifying classes that can be transferred over, which you can always check with them what classes qualify. I believe they have a list you can go through, but the faster you get the transcript submitted, the faster this process will roll for you. So don't take your time with that. Meeting programs eligibility, which is the bulk of the majority of what you need to do. So when I say to select a date, under the first one that says activate your nursing pre-licensure file, they literally have an option for you to. So activating your pre-licensure file, that file is going to ask you where you want to be, what cohort you want to be as far as what state you reside in, and your anticipated start date, and then some other things, that you'll answer. But this is important because it'll set your anticipated start date, and it'll let your enrollment counselor know what day you're planning to start the program. So they can kind of keep you on track to where, you're not too far behind to actually get into that month that you want to be in. Application essay, it's literally just going over the why on why you want to become a nurse. It does not have to be drawn out. It just needs to be genuine. Just let them know the exact reason you want to become a nurse. And don't say it's because I want to make a lot of money. Because, of course, that's not genuine. That's not what nursing is about. Second, we have the HESI exam. The HESI exam is very important, and I went over this. The HESI exam is what I'm saying that one of the things you should over-prepare for. I just want to give y'all a timeline of my application process. I wanted March, and I figured out that I couldn't get March, so I ended up going for April. I started this entire process in December because I like to be over prepared. I started to study for the test. Before I even did my test, I did the background check, which is the next one. I got everything that I could get right away sent over, and then I began to study for the HESI exam because that is a process in itself. I took a month to study, so all of December I studied, and then I didn't take it until January. And even when I took it in January, my score wasn't up to par for me, and it wasn't up to par for them either because it was under the score of 75 in 2 of my subjects. So I had to retake it and finally got it submitted the end of January. So by the end of January, everything was submitted. Prior to my HESI exam, I literally had everything that I can possibly do already in the system, to where when it's time for me to take the HESI, that's all I'm focusing on. I'm not trying to get paperwork sent over. Everything was completed. It was just me and the HESI. I got my HESI exam completed. It took a little while, and I told y'all I ran into a bump with getting it transferred over. You need to stay on top of your scores being transferred. It should not take more than 5 days, and if it does, then you need to kind of put on your antennas to do your investigation, because I had to manually get mine sent over. So now we have the background check. I told y'all this is something that I feel you should do prior to taking the HESI. It is the $42 option. It is the only option that says criminal background check. They're not asking for anything else. All of that other stuff will come later. What they want is just the background check. And that took me about a week to get back. So I would also, of course, recommend doing that ahead of time. I got that checked out. After that, you would have to have your financial aid on file already, and it has to be for the correct year. And you should check with your enrollment counselor on what is the correct year for whatever date you start. Has to be the correct year. Messed up with that. Once I got that completed, I did everything. And at that point, I was just waiting for the admissions office to accept me into the program. So boom, I finally got my notification that I was accepted. I completed everything prior to February 1st. So I'm 2 months ahead when they finally accepted me. I was accepted 60 days prior to the start date, and a little bit after that, April was full. Of course, March was already full by then too. So by February 1st, maybe a week or so in, April's already filling up because everybody wants to be in the cohort. It is a competitive program. It's not something that should just be looked at like, oh, I can take my time. It's best for you to take your time with the HESI, but if you have to take your time, you need to plan according to your time that you need. So let's say you want to start right now, and we are at almost the end of February or mid-February. It's best for you to try and plot for June at this point. You can try for May. You can put May down, and then, of course, so if you are looking to start in May, you can put May down. You can speak with your enrollment counselor, say, hey, what is it looking promising for May, or is it kind of full? Is it already full? They may be able to give you some insight. They may not be able to, but of course they can tell you if it's full. They can't tell you if they're close to full, whatever the case may be. They can't tell you that, but put down May if you want May. See if you can get accepted, and then if it takes a little bit longer than expected, worst case scenario, you would just have to move to June. But always check with your enrollment counselor. They'll be able to give you better insight on that. All right, so now we are accepted into the program, and you have your intake interview. The intake interview is not a actual interview where you're trying to interview for a job or interview to say, hey, this is why I feel like I should be in this program. It is literally when you talk to your enrollment counselor, and it's like a step-by-step giving you breakdown of what's required from you in the program. The grading, the way that they grade, the pass or fail, and all the options that you have with the program. That's basically what the intake interview is. You just have to agree to everything and say, hey, I understand, I want to move forward. Now we are done with everything that's on the list besides fulfill financial requirements. And if you have financial aid, that one will not be checked off until probably the first day of class. but that one is not required to be checked off for you to be clear to start. But you do have to make sure that everything is good with your financial aid and that you've actually been awarded. It doesn't have to actually be paid off right then and there, because they won't disperse your financial aid until the first day of class. So now you're at where I'm at, where I'm clear to start, and I'm literally just waiting. I speak to my enrollment counselor from time to time, and she kind of helps me navigate through the website to look at all the policies. So if I want to get familiar with it, which you would need to be, I can go ahead and just browse through. She kind of gave me some, she showed me where to go to order my webcam, and of course the requirements for the webcam, because you do have to have a separate webcam outside of your computer. The little webcam on your computer does not work. It specifically has to be one that shows a little bit more of your room. So there's a list of the ones that they are willing to accept. So right now I'm literally just waiting to do my orientation and kind of picking people's brains so I can give y'all a more detailed video on what the first term for me looks like. So if there's anything that I'm missing, or if there's any questions that y'all have, it's best for you to put it in the comment section. If I don't address it in the comment section, then I would address it in the next video. Keep in mind that the orientation for me is not until March 15th, so I won't be able to give more detail until then. Then after that, April 1st, I will keep y'all in the loop. So I'm hoping that y'all learned from this video that it is best to be the person that starts stuff ahead of time instead of waiting last minute, because waiting last minute will literally get you pushed back from the date that you want to start, especially when they jump to the every 3 months start date. This program is a competitive program. I understand that it's a little bit more flexible, but that doesn't change how many people would like to be in the program, especially with it becoming a more, at least for me, I'm starting to see it a lot more. I see commercials. A lot of people want to join this program, so you would treat this program as if you treat any other program. It is a competitive program. I see the comments and I see people telling me that they are thanking me for posting stuff like this, and I promise y'all my goal is to consistently post throughout this program so y'all can kind of get what I haven't been able to find for myself, which is a step-by-step on what's going to happen next. Okay, I applied. Now what's going to happen? What does orientation look like? What does that intake interview look like? All of those questions, I highly, highly recommend for y'all to keep it coming, because the more questions y'all give me, the more I kind of gauge towards explaining in the next video. And even if y'all ask me a question in the comments, I will most likely go ahead and reply in the comment. I won't leave you hanging if I have the answer. I love helping people because I love to be helped. So leave a comment, ask a question, let me know what more you want to see from my videos, and I'll make sure to include. I got cut off, but I'll make sure to include it. Of course, if y'all subscribe, you can kind of see when I upload more videos, but I will already give y'all a heads up. That next video probably won't be until mid-March, when I go through my orientation and I get a glimpse of my classes. So, make sure y'all subscribe and turn on your notifications, and I will see y'all in March, and keep the questions coming.